Hey everyone, welcome to another $1,000 strap search. I've got my $1,000 in singles here and I'm about to show you what I found. But before I do, let's talk about this week's update. No tip, I'm sorry. This week's update, I'm filming this right after I had published my community strap search. And I want to say thank you guys. Thank you very much. You guys have made that a huge success so far. Hopefully I won't screw it up when it comes to figuring out who gets what. I do want to let you know, though, that normally I answer every comment that people leave on all my videos. I am intentionally not going to be answering the entry comments on that particular video. That way I don't screw anything up when it comes time to figure out the selection process as far as picking the random winners. I'm just trying to eliminate a bunch of additional replies that would then have to be removed from the comment picker. And so for those of you who have left comments, thank you very much. I greatly appreciate them. I read every single one. I'm just trying not to screw up the comment picker because I've never used one before. And, well, I want to make sure this goes as smooth as possible. One last thing about that particular search. The notes that I'm giving away are the notes that I would keep, not necessarily any particular note that a person would want. So if I would pull them, as you'd see from all my other videos, those are the notes that'll be given away. I've had some requests for stuff. If anybody wants to send cash for a particular note that I'm not giving away, that's fine. I'd be more than happy to sell it to you and ship it off. But yeah, that's how I was envisioning this. Any note that I would pick, that would be the ones that would be given away. So just to give more examples of stuff that I save, let's see what I found this week in my $1,000 search. Starting off, I have a alternator. 9 is the alternator. 6, 9, 6, 9, 7, 9, 7, 9. So 9 alternates every spot. Found a trinary, 5s, 6s, and 7s. Another trinary, 0s, 2s, and 9s. Another one, 6s, 7s, and 8s. This one is 2s, 3s, and 6s. 4s, 5s, and 7s. And this one is quads. Quad zeros on an I note. I don't see a whole lot of I notes that have interesting serial numbers, so I get excited when I see stuff like that. Quad 2s on this one. Another quad 2s with a 5th. And it's a trinary, 1s, 2s, and 7s, so that's kind of cool. We should fix that corner there real quick. Quad 7s. And some stars. 2017 star note, a little bit of an overprint there. Another 2017, checking to make sure that the stars are not filled in. 2017, lower number, starting with a couple zeros, so who knows, maybe that's a rare. 2017, 2017H, and 2013B, one of the potential doubled notes, and it's got a couple zeros to start with, so that's most likely one of the doubled notes. Another 2013B, starting with a 0 as well, probably also on that list. 2013K, really rough shape on this, probably going to go away. Another 2013. And another 2013, pretty rough. This one's better. 2013, good paper quality, good color on that one. 2013, starting with a couple zeros and a 1, that's a fairly low number. Who knows? Maybe there'll be something interesting there. Then my older notes, 2001, 1999, rough shape. 1999, much better shape. Another 1999. 1995, potential for a web note. Nope, not a web note. Another 95, also not a web note. Another 95. 1993, fairly short printed note, and no, not a web note. And the oldest note in the group this week, this is a 1974. It's always cool finding notes from the 70s because you just don't get them. People never bothered to save them, so there was no reason for them to be saved. Yeah, you don't see them. You see notes from the 60s a lot. The 70s don't tend to last very long. So, what did I pull out this week? Well, since it's been a pretty big week with the strap search, I decided I was going to pull out something pretty big to go with it. This was number 2 on my wish list. I picked up a 1923 $5 silver certificate. This is the Porthole note. Porthole note from 1923. It's a $5 silver certificate. This one features, of course, Abraham Lincoln. You've got that gigantic circle that makes it look like Lincoln is looking out of a porthole. The United States of America is on the edges of that. Now, this particular note, you can see it does have a little bit of rust spots on it. You can see right here, if I zoom in real quick here, you can see there is a little bit of rust on that. And they did note it on the back, rust. It was graded a 20, very fine. So if you take a look at it, it's in pretty good shape, aside from the rust and the dirt. Just looking over, you can see it's got a couple little folds here. You can see the major fold across the middle here. You can see some folding here. The corner is nicked. But as we take a peek at it, you can notice over here, mainly dirt, but you can see, you can see that fold here. You can see one over here. Taking a look at the back of this one, you've got this ray pattern here, which is really cool. You see that on the legal tender, the $10 poker chip note has the rays like that. And it's funny because that's a red seal legal tender, and this is a blue seal silver certificate. But yeah, this is one of the tougher notes to get. It's not only is it number 2 on my list, it's also one of the top 100 notes. It's also listed in the top 100 notes. I want to say it's in the top 20, if I remember correctly. I should have looked that up right away. But anyway, the Porthole note from 1923. One of the other cool things about the 1923 series is they only made 2 denominations. They made the $1 note, which is the horse blanket. And if you have a large size $1 note, the horse blanket's probably the note you have. So they made quite a few of those. In contrast, the $5, they did not make very many of. These tend to go for 4 digits on a regular basis. And if you happen to have a star, yeah, they can go 4 or 5 grand real easy for the star notes of the $5 Porthole notes. So let's take a look at the book and see what the book has to say about this. Scoot these out of the way. I've got Paper Money of the United States, complete illustrated guide with valuations. This is the book, by the way. This is my book. This is the one that I use. There's the ISBN number if anybody wants to look it up. This is the most recent edition, 22nd edition. Yeah, it's the book that I use just because it has the most info. It's a little big, it's a little bulky, but I have no problem with it because notes are big and bulky compared to coins. Anyway, here is the 1923 Porthole. Bust of Abraham Lincoln after the Matthew Brady photograph of February 9th, 1864, known as the Porthole because of the circular design around Lincoln's head. Once again, you can see the rays there, and if you look, that's it. 1923, one signature combination is all you're going to find. In VG, 8 starts off at about 525. In 12, you're talking 850. 20, like my note, is 1100. Once you get to choice uncirculated, is 3000, and gem is 8500. And let's see, almost twice that for the star note. Now the star note itself, right here, the 282 star, starts off at 1650, which is about 3 times, and then by the time you get to gem uncirculated, it's only about twice as much. Still, tough notes to come across. I'm proud that I've got one in VF20 because that way there's no debating that as far as the grading and as far as pricing. Some people try to get notes that are 25 or 30. You may want to collect notes that have a common grade just for the ease of pricing. For instance, if this was a 25, well, at a 20, it's worth 1100. So what's it worth at 25? See, now you got to start to do math and start to figure out stuff like that. But since 20 is a common grade, it is easy to discern the price. Anyway, that's what I've got for you guys this week. My 1923 $5 silver certificate, my Porthole note, Like I said, it was number 2 on my wish list for this year. I am proud to knock that off. If you guys learned anything new this week, go ahead and hit that like button. If you like what you see and you want to see more, please subscribe. I love reading all your comments, and I will respond to these comments. Guys, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next week.